Good morning, everybody. This is Matthew Pierce coming to you from A Love Awakening. How are you all doing this morning? I hope that your week has progressed great and that you're manifesting and things are showing up in your life to make you have that better life, to have you make that wonderful life, to be living your bliss. We are so happy to be with you. You can check out our website at aloveawakening.com, or you can check out us here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button and the bell, and you'll be notified with all the wonderful things that we are putting out there for you. So anyway, this morning, let's go ahead and jump right into the energy forecast, see what's happening, see what the energy is for today, and then we're going to talk about something that happened to me yesterday. So taking a look at the energy forecast. So this morning, okay, looking at the past, leaving the past behind. If there's been times in your day that the past comes up, take and make sure you're leaving it back there. Don't bring it back up again. Okay, if you need to remember something, remember it, but don't be attached to it. Just let it be back there. The past is the past. It's not a reality anymore. It's just a memory. So let that be back there, okay? Being diligent about what you are doing. Are you going over your affirmations? Are you taking and repeating your affirmations on a daily basis? Or maybe even on an hourly basis if you really want to manifest? Are you being diligent about creating? Seeing what there is to have and what there is to be able to put into place in your life. So being diligent today is very, very important. The cards are telling us that going into the noon hour, that's going to be a key issue, okay? Answering your questions, taking and writing your questions down, getting answers for them. Being diligent, also goes into that sense of, looking at yourself, looking at the internal questions that we have. What's driving us? What's motivating us? What's holding us back? Sometimes those are kind of, questions that, we don't want to answer, or we kind of want to put on the back burner and kind of take care of it at a later time. But the cards are showing us today that having that diligence and looking at everything, looking at everything all the way around, that's very important for today. Going into this afternoon, it's more about looking at yourself and finding out your limitations. What's limiting you? What's holding you back? The portal card comes up, and I love the portal card because when the portal card comes up, it means that there's a doorway that you must go through. I'll get it here eventually. So consider that today there's an area in your life that you're going to have a breakthrough. Take it as a very good thing. When the portal card comes up, it means that doorway is open and all you need to do is step through. So this afternoon, take that on. If it presents itself, which I believe it will, take and go through it, okay? Taking and looking at your wisdom. If you need to get some wisdom on some things, turn to your friends. Turn to those people that you trust, and get some input on what it is that you are doing and what you are about. Sometimes we have a tendency to just try to do it ourselves, and we don't necessarily have to do it ourselves. Our friends are there, our friends are available, and if you trust those friends, then go ahead and ask them for their wisdom. So going on, okay, into this evening, okay, spontaneity is there. So if you've been putting something off, or you want to do something enjoyable for yourself, tonight would be the night to do it because spontaneity is coming up in the cards. So I want to talk a little bit about overwhelm and being in overwhelm when we have just all these things come at us at one time and we just can't handle it, okay? What do you do in those situations? What do you do when you are in overwhelm? Well, first of all, you have to kind of define why you're in overwhelm. What's happening around you? What's going on? And be present with it. And understand that overwhelm is a temporary state. It's not going to be perpetual. It's a temporary state. So kind of define what it is that is going on that is causing you to be in overwhelm. Okay? Now, a lot of the times, if we take a look, it's our actions, okay, or the places that we put ourselves that are controlling our actions. Okay, we have become like more of the human doing than the human being. And so when we have like collected all of these things that we are doing, we would have a better understanding of why we're in such overwhelm. Now, when you kind of define overwhelm, or how I define overwhelm, is when the outer circumstances, okay, dictate your inner circumstances. So when your outer circumstances are out of whack and they are just going nuts, and that starts affecting your inner workings. So that's how I define overwhelm. Okay? So there's hope. Like I said, this is not a perpetual thing. It's something that happens and you can get out of it. Okay? How I say get out of overwhelm, well, I have a few tips. Okay? Get back to what I call the what is so. Okay? What is actually so about this situation? Okay? Don't add any story to it. Don't create a scenario around it. Just what is so. Okay? A lot of times we have a tendency to take it like one step further and be like really creative with it. For example, okay, say you lose your job. Okay? And when you're describing losing your job, you're saying, well, my boss, he's incompetent. That's the reason why he let me go, blah, 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 blah. Or the coworkers, they didn't like me anyway. So, it's no wonder that I lost my job because, I just couldn't, I couldn't sustain, what I was trying to achieve at the company. Oh, well, they had different goals than I did. So it's better that I leave. Okay. Well, that's making up things about you losing your job. What is so is you lost your job. And just by getting to the what is so, it gives you access to create something new. You leave the old stuff behind and you create something new. So how many times in your life have you done that? Something quote unquote bad has happened, okay? And you made up a story about it. And whatever that story was became perpetual, and you live into it over and over and over again. So when we are in an overwhelm, we want to get rid of the story. We want to get rid of all the excuses. We want to get rid of all of the things that we have made up about it and get back to the what is so. Because that is going to give us access to create from. Right there. It's going to give us access to create a new slate. Okay, that's in the past. Leave it in the past. When we get rid of the story, we can disconnect from that. Leave it back there. So that's one way to kind of like get out of the overwhelm and stop rehashing it over and over and over again. What is so? What is going on? What am I making up about the situation that I'm in? So we kind of refocus the brain a little bit to not be in overwhelm. So one of the other things is being able to set clear boundaries. Okay, what are your boundaries? What will you not do? What is just completely unacceptable? Okay, and sometimes that comes with work, and sometimes that comes with our personal life. Okay, knowing where the boundaries are. For the longest time, I had a huge problem with boundary setting. Setting boundaries so people don't encroach on what I am and what I'm about doing. Letting people speak into my life that had no business speaking into my life whatsoever. But I thought, oh, well, they were nice or they liked me. And so I didn't want to offend them by saying something like, okay, you just need to take a step back. So defining clear boundaries will help you get outside of overwhelm as well. So take that on today and set some boundaries if you think that you need to set up some boundaries, okay? And this is one of the things that you would think that would be very simple. But if you're in overwhelm, okay, and you just have that feeling that I cannot do this, ask for help. It's simply that. Ask for help. If you are in overwhelm, ask for help. There is someone there to assist you. Let them, okay? But sometimes we have to get off our high horses. I'm going to raise my hand for that. I've done this. I can do it myself. You know, I don't trust anybody to do it the right way. I don't trust anybody to do it the way that I would do it. So sometimes we just need to ask for help and trust that people understand that we are asking them for their help. Well, and maybe one of the last things, and I'm sure there's probably there's a dozen more reasons or ways to get around overwhelm. But this one is very important. Just say no. One of the ways to avoid overwhelm is to say no. No, I'm not going to do that today. I'm taking care of myself. No, I am not going to, and then whatever is there. Saying no is okay. Being authentic with yourself and just admitting that no, I don't want to, or no, I don't need to, that's a huge thing. So just saying no is a very powerful thing to get outside of overwhelm. So if you're in overwhelm today, try some of those things. See how it works for you. Well, this has been Matthew Pierce with the energy forecast for today, and a little message to possibly help you get out of overwhelm. You can check out our website at aloveawakening.com. Here on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if this message is hitting you the right way, and any of our other messages. If you hit the little bell icon, you'll be notified of all the great stuff that we are putting online. So we have a message of hope and love and joy and bliss that we want to take out to the world, to the universe. So we want to take you along with us. And so, well, like I said, this has been Matthew Pierce from A Love Awakening. I love you. Lisa loves you. A Love Awakening loves you. So that means that you need to love you. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.